got a search warrant, which means they clearly were able to show a judge that there was probable cause to believe a crime was committed. But the police have been playing this really close to the vest.
We also don't know what David's cooperation has been with cops. We were told early on he was cooperating with cops. Now it seems kind of unclear, but it is kind of interesting because...
Well, he's not talking to cops.
Katt Williams sent shockwaves through the rumor mill on Club Shay Shay, leaning into the camera with no jokes, no punchlines, just a cold declaration. David, the TikTok star turned alt-pop sensation, isn't simply this week's tragic headline. He's a piece in a playbook older than TMZ. The timing was uncanny. Only hours earlier, LAPD had hauled away a Tesla left baking on the Bird Streets. The car, registered to David Anthony Burke, David's legal name, had sat untouched for days outside a $20,000 a month rental in the Hollywood Hills. What police said they uncovered inside tore through every barrier. The decomposed, partially dismembered remains of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, missing since April. The fallout came instantly. David's North American tour vanished from venue websites overnight. Crocs, once splashing him across their ads, pulled everything. Universal and Interscope dropped a midnight memo. All campaigns on pause. Even his Instagram froze on a pre-scheduled post teasing a deluxe album release. That Friday, instead of new tracks, fans got blue-gloved forensic teams. 500,000 refresh buttons clicked, and silence from the singer.
LAPD spent 12 hours searching a house where David had been living. So big developments this week. Sources say they were looking for blood evidence in the house and the garage. Neighbors remember seeing the Tesla regularly parked at that house, and it was abandoned and towed to an impound lot.
Williams didn't just call it coincidence or even tragedy. He called it sacrifice. That same day, LAPD framed the Tesla discovery as part of a tragedy investigation. Williams, on Club Shay Shay, called it a playbook. He pointed to the speed of David's erasure, tour dates wiped, album rollout shelved, Reddit threads locked, Discord servers locked down. The industry's pulse flatlined in real time. Money and management pulled back in perfect sync. If you were at the table, Williams said, you saw the meeting. He wasn't hinting. He was tearing down the velvet rope. His warning, this isn't one artist with a bad headline. It's ritual. It's process. The case, he argued, hinged on missing hours, a body in a trunk, and Hollywood's unspoken currency of fear. Social media lit up with receipts minutes after. Newsweek reported his Club Shay Shay episode racked more than 60 million YouTube views. Every clip was sliced, memed, and looped across feeds. On TikTok, his theory that David's implosion was tied to secret Illuminati-style gatherings in LA mansions went viral, bolstered by old resurfaced posts. Google searches for Katt Williams, sitting at just 85,000 before the broadcast, exploded past 1 million in 24 hours. Booking agencies called it digital gold, but Williams wasn't chasing heat. Sharp, on the same episode, cut through. The industry has trampoline skin. Williams always bounces back, even after 30 arrests. Williams laughed off the jail stints, then leaned forward. You gotta have your heater on you, he said. The room fell silent.
I've gone down these rabbit holes. You know, you look at these lyrics, okay, of Romantic Homicide. I have them right here. He has a line where he says, in the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. One of his music videos, I think, you know, he's carrying a casket, or people are carrying a casket. He just seems to have this very sick facet.
This isn't just the internet running wild. A former road manager for David says tour security doubled after a coded threat hit management just hours before the first show was canceled. 3 veteran label insiders insist his Grammy Museum appearance was axed before the RSVP list even went public. Meanwhile, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division refuses to call it murder. Their lead detective told ABC, "We don't have the answers we need. The car was registered in Texas. but parked on a leafy Los Angeles street. Plastic wrapped inside, reeking to high heaven when tow lot workers finally called it in. David remains silent. His lawyer, Blur Burke, has offered nothing to the press. The only voices cutting through belong to those who never had a seat at the table in the first place. And Katt Williams.
That she had a boyfriend.
That's right, that she had a boyfriend and his name was David. And the mother never really got in contact with David, like she never saw him.
She didn't know who the David was.
She had heard of him. And it seemed like the last time that she had seen her daughter was when she had gone out.
What keeps the city on edge is the missing stretch of time. On September 8, 2025, just a day after her birthday, the remains of Celeste Rivas were discovered. She had vanished at 13, only to reappear in tragedy at 15. The medical examiner has yet to confirm a cause of death, but TMZ reported the body was dismembered and badly decomposed. Through those same weeks, David was on stage in Boston, Montreal, Chicago, touring as if the ground beneath him weren't about to split open. In the immediate aftermath, moderators tied to David's Discord servers posted a rushed defense. We thought she was 18 or 19. None of us knew her age or her real name. On Reddit, the fan hub locked down. Threads about Celeste, David's lyrics, even speculation about the shadow vanished. Fans accused David of scrubbing the narrative. Within 48 hours, every critical post was gone. So was David's own moderator handle.
The ages, you know, this guy's 20, she was about to be 15, right? I mean, this is really wild how they hooked up in the first place, allegedly, and where it went from.
The has become the black hole, sucking in every conspiracy. Celeste's mother told TMZ she identified her daughter not only by her face, but by a red ink tattoo on her right index finger, done in Rihanna's style. She also revealed Celeste mentioned dating someone named David just before vanishing in 2024. TMZ sleuths pulled every photo of David they could find. In April, his hands were clear. By September, one blurry stage shot revealed the same inked in matching script. The speculation exploded. Had they gotten the tattoos together, or was it a shared vow? Police have yet to confirm any direct relationship. Even so, LAPD sources admit they are reviewing online photos that appear to show David and Celeste together prior to her disappearance. The Rivas family, blindsided, has declined further comment.
Is investigating this case. They still have not said it's a...
Correct.
Meaning that
Well,
they don't know the cause of death. Obviously, yes, the body was dismembered and was, you know, where the parts were in a bag that was in the Tesla, but they don't know.
The money is bleeding out. Crocs and Hollister have cut him from campaigns. Universal and Sony have shelved all album rollouts out of respect for the ongoing investigation. David's deluxe release, once primed for streaming dominance, now sits in limbo. A former Interscope promotion staffer described the shutdown bluntly. "We got a group chat that just said, 'Stop everything. No one talks to press. Lawyers control every word.'" Still, one fact trickled through. David isn't missing, but he's erased. Off every stage, every stream, every red carpet. He was supposed to make his September fashion walk. Instead, law enforcement tells Billboard he's cooperating. Not arrested, not charged, but not performing, not posting, not appearing. Into this blackout, Katt Williams keeps pouring gasoline. He zeroed in on the tattoo, arguing the matching ink was less a teenage whim than a coded initiation. "If you know, you know," Williams growled. 3 veteran publicists, speaking off record, claimed the design echoes symbols used in private circles to seal silence. More chilling, both David and Celeste reportedly got theirs less than a month before she vanished. By the time investigators tracked the Tesla, it had shifted parking spots 3 times along the same Bird Streets block. It was never reported stolen, always pinged on license plate scanners. Neighbors told ABC the Texas plate stood out, along with a noticeable dent. By the time tow yard workers called in the stench, whoever left it was long gone. Oh, how typical of me. Thank you for your wishes.
Just removed shows from his website, also forced to remove some creepy merchandise from his site. So for people who don't know, David was selling a line of button-down shirts with bloody handprints on them. And Lauren, this wasn't like a Halloween thing, right? It was because one of his biggest songs called Romantic Homicide.
A new fault line has opened, the tour itself. David's Withered World Tour carried a funeral motif. Caskets on stage, condolence books for fans to sign, and his uniform, a blood-spattered shirt. The deluxe edition of Withered was set to drop just days after Celeste's body was discovered. Instead, police raided the Dini Drive mansion, seizing electronics. On what would have been Celeste's 15th birthday, a vigil drew a silent crowd. No one from David's circle appeared. LAPD confirmed several pieces of evidence were recovered and are now under review. The tension has escalated beyond one artist. It has become a mirror for anyone who ever believed fame was a shield. Katt Williams' voice slices through the static. This isn't a one-off. They want blood or a body, and if you're in, you don't get to choose which. The only question left hanging: did David step into this knowingly, or was he already marked before his first note was written? The tour vanished like contraband flushed at midnight. One moment, Withered World promised sold-out runs from Los Angeles to London. The next, every North American date and the full European leg evaporated, not just from the band's site, but from every ticketing platform. Fans woke to blank event pages, scanned venue lists, and the chilling notice: refunds will be issued at point of purchase. Paradiso Amsterdam, San Francisco's Regency Ballroom, even the Grammy Museum, all pulled out with no explanation. A Paradiso manager issued only a flat line of text: David concert is canceled due to unknown circumstances. This wasn't a slow unraveling. It was a coordinated blackout. The question remains: who hit the switch, and what did they know that the public didn't?
I have not. I can't confirm that. I know that I know the reports you're talking about, and we've been trying to confirm that that they have. But that would be expected. And there have been other artists who have taken down songs that they collaborated with David on, and they've removed them from some platforms just because they have seen what's going on. And until we know for certain, I think some artists will see David as kind of...
Industry veterans whisper that erasures on this scale don't come from panic. 3 former Interscope promoters told us they've never seen an artist scrubbed so completely without a top-down order from legal, PR, or higher. It wasn't just keeping him out of sight, one said. It felt like someone upstairs wanted him erased from the board. A former road manager backs that claim, saying security teams were instructed to pack up, keep quiet, and refuse questions within an hour of the LAPD news breaking. Interscope followed with a late-night memo freezing all digital ads, suspending streaming pushes, and putting every Billboard contract on hold. Even StubHub and other secondary ticket sellers got an email that read simply, "Do not relist, do not comment." Was this a frantic manager scrambling to contain scandal, or someone higher up the Hollywood food chain, making sure David never touched another microphone? The blackout wasn't limited to venues. Online footprint began collapsing like a controlled demolition. His once lively subreddit, fan art, concert selfies, chatter, locked without warning. Threads about Celeste Rivas, the Tesla, even stray mentions of the tattoo disappeared. Moderators' accounts were deleted, join requests stonewalled. All that remained was an error page. This community is private. Fans scrambled to archive what they could, but the cleanup was already in motion. One Discord moderator, claiming no tie to David's management, told TMZ, "We thought she was 18 or 19. None of us knew her real age." Still, users pointed out David's own handle was listed as sole moderator for weeks, fueling suspicions that the erasure wasn't just staff-driven, but personal.
And law enforcement sources say much of this case hinges on the medical examiner determining a cause of, but given the state of the body, that is proving to be.
We watched his online footprint shrink hour by hour. Social media accounts bled posts. Music videos disappeared from fan playlists. Old Twitch streams and Discord threads tied to Celeste or her disappearance went dark. Fans shouted cover-up. If David is innocent, why erase everything? If he's not, how did every platform suddenly align to scrub the record? Label insiders, off the record, stressed the difference between lawyers asking for privacy and a wholesale digital purge. The silence left in its place is suffocating. No statement, no condolences, just a void where an artist's voice used to be. Speculation circled what fans dubbed the Tesla trap. Was the impounded car truly the crime scene, or a planted prop designed to hang the story on David's name? The timeline doesn't help. Impounded September 5th. Body discovered September 8th. Registration pointing directly back to him. Yet no one will confirm who last drove the car. Built-in cameras yielded nothing public. Law enforcement admits multiple people had access to the vehicle, but the chain of custody is a black hole. Conveniently so, some argue. One industry lawyer put it plainly. If you wanted to frame someone in the age of digital breadcrumbs, what better prop than a Tesla loaded with cameras, GPS, and data logs? For now, LAPD says devices are under analysis. But nothing has surfaced, only a mountain of rumors and a singer shielded by a legal team that has locked down every word.
It's very clear we're going to get to the bottom of this sooner than later. Like they are closing in, and it is heartbreaking to see these images of Celeste now, knowing how she came to her end, but to see her at a very young age in this sort of Hollywood circle, you just wonder how it got to that point for her.
Behind the scenes, brand partners vanished almost overnight. Crocs and Hollister issued statements that read less like apologies and more like digital divorces. We have removed campaign content featuring David while the investigation continues. Universal Music Group, Sony Music Publishing, and Wasserman followed with joint emails freezing all promotional activity. No album push, no press, no interviews. Even the highly hyped Withered Deluxe Edition was stripped from every release calendar. This isn't small change. Millions in tour revenue, ad deals, and chart placements disappeared in a single digital blink. One veteran publicist put it bluntly, "Someone decided David would not be heard or seen until further notice, period." Whether or not David wanted to speak, the silence has only amplified attention on the so-called tattoo pact. Digital sleuths pore over images, zooming in on hands, comparing every sliver of ink. Screenshots show David without any finger tattoo in April. Then suddenly sporting an ish just days after Celeste's remains were discovered. Police acknowledge they're reviewing the photos but won't confirm whether it's the same artist, the same date, or simply viral speculation. Fans are split. Some call it a tribute, others call it proof. What's certain is that every photo, every old livestream, every artifact of David's past is now under suspicion. In an era where stars stage manage every detail, the question lingers. What's authentic and what's performance? What unsettles most now is the eerie overlap between David's performance art and the investigation's grisly details, a convergence the internet has labeled the tragedy playlist. Fans once enchanted by his dramatic flair are combing through every stage prop, lyric, and setlist like amateur detectives. The funeral-themed shows, guest books for imaginary condolences, caskets at the venue entrance, no longer read as edgy theater, but as rehearsals for an unspoken confession. Even his blood-smeared costumes, once dismissed as metaphors for heartbreak, have taken on a chilling new meaning. Clips from the Withered World Tour are circulating on social media, slowed down and spliced with lyrics about cold bodies, hidden secrets, and doomed romance. What once felt like Gen Z quirk is now dissected for signals, for the moment performance might have bled into prophecy. The re-examination doesn't stop with the stage. David's biggest tracks are being replayed in a darker light, romantic homicide.
Before he was even charged, there were people who backed off and, didn't want to be associated, didn't want to answer any questions about him. That's what happens in showbiz when you suddenly are the focus of things like this. All those people who are your friends.
And Withered, already steeped in somber imagery, are now parsed line by line for veiled admissions, fans drawing threads between lyrics and leaked police details. Some digital sleuths even claimed timestamps in his music videos, blood red lighting, locked trunks, uncannily mirror case facts that hadn't yet gone public. The effect is destabilizing. Pop songs have become an open-source case file, fueling the belief that the clues were hiding in plain sight. For some, it's coincidence. For others, it's proof the line between persona and reality blurred long before Celeste's body was found. What remains is a fan base caught between obsession and fear. Convinced that art and life have collapsed into each other, the debate has shifted from guilt or innocence to whether David's entire pop spectacle was a coded confession, hidden in plain sight, cheered on by thousands. It's no longer just about what happened backstage or in a Hollywood garage. The focus has widened to the entertainment machine itself, how it devours stories, shapes narratives, and trains audiences to applaud along. The unnerving possibility is that everyone, fans, managers, even the press, was part of a performance they never realized they were watching, until fiction seeped into the bleakest kind of reality. The wider view only muddies the picture. David's ascent was meteoric. From TikTok obscurity to millions of streams in under 2 years, the label's next golden ticket, a Gen Z voice with global pull. But just as quickly, he became an implosion, a scandal headline built for front pages. Soaking up every feed, insiders call it a pattern. When the stakes get too high, when a star shines too brightly, or edges too close to secrets, the narrative shifts. An arrest, an accusation, a scandal positioned to drag the spotlight away. So the question lingers, was David collateral in the industry's oldest game? Or just another random casualty fed to the beast? Katt Williams' warnings still reverberate. He says he's seen the playbook. First comes the invitation to the big table. Then comes the price. In his viral interview, Williams laid it bare. They want blood or a body, and if you're in, you don't get to choose which. Other artists, comedians, musicians, actors have hinted at the same unspoken bargain. Success comes with a bill, and it always gets collected. If Williams is right, David's case isn't just a tragedy. It's a flare fired into the sky, a warning for anyone who believes they can play Hollywood's game and walk away untouched. That leaves the question no one at Universal, LAPD, or the Grammy Museum seems eager to answer. Was David set up as a perfect distraction, Or did he stumble into a trap of his own design? Is this how the industry buries its scandals, scrubbing the scene, gagging fan communities, and letting rumors smolder in the ruins? Because if the digital purge, the vanished tour dates, and the suffocating silence mean anything, it's that the truth is still adrift, waiting for a crack in the clouds. We're left here. If a rising star can be erased overnight, if entire narratives can be wiped with a single call, who's really pulling the strings? And how safe is anyone from the machine? Drop your theory below. Was this the cost of fame, or the first domino in something far bigger? Don't blink. Don't trust the quiet. And remember, in this story, nothing is what it seems.